So your boyfriend or your husband suddenly stops talking to you the way he used to talk to you. He suddenly stops texting you or calling you. The things he used to do for you, he no longer does them. He no longer wants to get as involved with you as he used to be in the past. What could be the problem? What is going on? Are you currently in that kind of situation? Have you been in that kind of situation before and you did not seem to understand why or what happened? So now this video is going to be answering the question of why he suddenly started pulling away from your so sweet, rosy, romantic relationship or your marriage. Now you want to watch this video to the end to get every single details of what I'm going to be talking about. My space on YouTube. It is your girl Zinny. I'm a Nigerian YouTuber based right here in Abuja Nigeria, and you are welcome to Relationship Matters with Zinny. Today we are going to be talking about why your man has been pulling away from your relationship and you cannot seem to understand why. You don't even know what to do about it. Okay, so in this video I'm going to be answering that question for you of why your man is pulling away. Then in a subsequent video, a follow-up for this particular one, I'm going to be sharing with you what to do whenever you notice that your man is pulling away, especially if you want to save your relationship or your marriage. So we're going to go straight into the video for today. Now the very first reason why your man could be pulling away is because he is beginning to see a different picture entirely. I mean, you're in a relationship, you go on dates, he buys you gifts, you reciprocate once in a while, the communication is amazing, the sex is amazing. If you're married, it seems to you like things are going rosy, but at that point when you think things are going rosy, it isn't exactly rosy for him. He is not seeing it that way. He's beginning to see it a little differently, especially if he feels like you are in control of who he speaks to, who he hangs out with, where he goes to, what he does at a certain time, what he should not do at a certain time, how he should react to certain situations. If he finds that you're suddenly beginning to take control of most of the decisions in his life, no matter how small or big those decisions are or situations are, he's going to feel withdrawn. He's going to feel like his mother or his elder sister is in his life. Not just even just his elder sister, because there are also younger sisters who always want to look out for their brothers by trying to make certain decisions for them. He's going to feel like you are his biological sibling, and that is not what you're supposed to be. You are supposed to be the woman in his life. You're not supposed to have 100% control of his life. Now, I'm not saying that you should not be a part of the decision-making process in the life of your man. See, the Bible says wisdom is profitable to direct. You can still decide who he hangs out with, who he talks to, who he spends time with, who he eats with, who he doesn't drink with, what he does and what he doesn't do. It all depends on the manner of approach or the system that you use in your relationship. And remember that what works for one might not work for the other, okay? When it comes to relationship generally, it is not one cap fits all. So by all means, he could be pulling away because he thinks you are suddenly having total control of his life, and he does not need a second mother in his life, whether his mom is dead or alive. He does not need a second mom in his life. He does not need a second sister in his life. So you are just going to be what you're supposed to be, his wife or his girlfriend. Does that make sense to you? Now, there is something I want you to have at the back of your mind when it comes to having relationships with men or getting married to a man, okay? Men go into relationships not expecting anything to change in their woman, but women, as the fix-its that we are, women go into relationships expecting things, if not everything, about them or about their man to change. And that is where we are definitely different from our men, okay? So your man could be pulling away because you are no longer the woman he was attracted to. You're no longer the woman he saw and he fancied, that he used to take on fancy dates and all of that. And there is this thing with women, when you're getting into a relationship, when the relationship is still fresh or the marriage is still fresh, you think you have in your head a mental picture of the kind of woman you think this man wants. And so because of that, you position yourself to be that kind of woman, to behave in a certain kind of way, to do certain kind of things around him when your relationship is starting. And then by the time you feel, oh, he's totally in love with you, you're planning to get married or you're finally married to him, so what could it be? What could be the worst that could happen? You decide to let down your guards and bring out the real you. Now, when that man was getting into a relationship with you, he decided to go into the relationship with you because he assumed that he had seen the real you and not the opposite, okay? See, no matter how real you think you want to be, there are facades that so many of us put up when we're getting to meet someone newly, when the relationship is still fresh, a month to the relationship, 2 months to the relationship, 3 months to the relationship, and then we begin to change. And ladies, these things go as little to the details of as much as perhaps whenever he visits you or you visit him, you always go to bed with your hair, you always go to bed with makeup on. I mean, there's one rule of thumb that I always give for relationships, whether a romantic relationship or a normal relationship: do not start what you cannot finish. And it goes for men. If you know that as a man you cannot keep up taking your woman to, you know, fancy restaurants once a month or once in 3 months, please don't start it early in your relationship. I mean, by the time your relationship is a year, you've taken her to like 50 restaurants, you know, in your town, and then by the time you are now fully vested or committed in that relationship, and the relationship is now, you know, heading towards marriage perhaps, or is really getting more serious, and then you suddenly start taking her to those fancy restaurants, those are the things that attributed or contributed to making this woman or making this man to fall in love with you and to decide to get committed in a relationship with you. I mean, men are scared of commitment. So if a man eventually decides to commit to you, he must have seen some certain things: the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you appear, the way you do your makeup, the way you are so free, you know, you can laugh, you can even fart in his presence, you studied all the rule of etiquette, you know, for going out in a relationship, for going on dates, for being around people and all of that. And then by the time he becomes vested in you, or he's falling in love with you and he decided to be committed to you alone, you decide to lose all of those things, he's going to begin to feel like a stranger in that relationship. So by all means, ladies, do not start what you cannot finish. If you know you cannot maintain the Louis Vuitton, you know, lifestyle, or the Kim Kardashian way of, you know, being in a relationship, do not start it from the onset. Be who you are. If you're Njideka, be Njideka. Whoever you are, be whoever you are. Maintain who you are, because most probably, majority of the times, this is the reason why so many men decide to pull away. That fear of not knowing who they are with anymore, or even what they are doing. They begin to question how they even got into the relationship with you in the first place. They begin to question their sense of masculinity, of not being able to recognize who you really are. And men hate that because it tears and pulls down their ego, and we know that our men do not joke with their ego at all. So you do not want to tamper with his ego, my darling. Now think back to yourself. What are the things you used to do when you started your relationship newly that you no longer do now? The most little thing or the most insignificant things that you've been ignoring in the past years, I want you to look back at them. And if you find any of this, you're free to send me an email on my email address that I'll be showing on your screen right now. And you guys, if you have questions about your relationships that you want us to help you on, sometimes we might not just come and dole out advices like this. Sometimes it could be, you know, having issues concerning your relationship. It could be relationship with your husband or your boyfriend or your fiance, or relationship with your boss at work, or relationship with your family. We're talking about relationship in general now, not just relationship with, okay, someone that you're romantically involved with. No, if you have questions like that, you know, you have situations in your life right now that you want us to address, that you want us to talk about, of course you can always post anonymous. If you don't want us to read out your name, please send me an email via my email address that will be showing on your screen again. And you can also send me a message via my Instagram DM at Ezinne Ukachi that will be showing on the screen as well. So we're going to be going straight into the third reason why your man seems to be pulling away from you in your relationship. And that could be because he is suddenly beginning to feel less than a man. See, like I said before, men love their ego so much. No matter how humble a man is, he has this ego that he does not like to be bruised. And when I say a man's ego does not like to be bruised, men like, you know, when women massage their egos, men like to be treated like kings. And now when I say a man should be treated like a king, I don't even necessarily mean that you have to, you know, go and buy him a crown, buy him expensive suit, you know, take him to a spa for spa treatment to make him feel like a king. No, as much as so many of us believe that that is what makes a man drawn to you, because, oh, you can cook the best meal, you, in fact, you're the best when it comes to sex. He has never had the kind of sex he has with you before with any other person. I mean, you're everything he dreamed of as a woman, the way you clean, the way you cook, and all of that. Men love compliments. Men want you to massage their ego by praising them, letting them know that they did well. Even if a man helps you to get a glass of juice from the fridge, appreciate him for this. You guys, I'm going to give you an example of this. I have a printer who prints my stickers, you know, for my perfume oil business for me. And then on one of the days when I was supposed to print a new job, he was a bit cranky and all of that because of the pressure from so many other customers. And of course I was putting him under pressure because I needed the stickers the following day, and I was calling him in less than 24 hours. So he had less than 24 hours to deliver on that particular job. And then one thing surprised me. On the normal day, whenever I go to meet this guy to do my printing, okay, he just tells me, okay, what do you want? Just give me your specifications by yourself, the colors by yourself, and whatnot by yourself. And he just do everything plain. You can just say that he just did his job, okay? But on this particular day, you guys, as soon as I was done having the conversations of, okay, what I want, how I want it to be, you know how we do it, just run through, you know, the usual, gave him the names of the fragrances I wanted him to put on the stickers and whatnot. And I told him, you know, I trust your job now. You deliver on your job. I trust you to deliver perfectly the way I want. Like, please just take your time. you're amazing. You guys, when this guy delivered, he literally called me himself for the very first time to tell me that my job was ready. And you guys, if you see the stickers that this guy did for me, if you see the production that came out from this particular job, I was like, damn, okay, so this is it. So yes, that is it. Sometimes they want you to go the extra mile by noticing that they had a new, oh, you look amazing, I trust you to look good for me now. I trust you to get me the best juice. I trust you to get it very cold. Oh, the juice is very cold. Oh, by all means, praise him. No matter how insignificant you think what he has done is, as little as, you know, helping you pick up something, you know, from the store, a grocery, or getting you juice, or getting you maybe pizza or your favorite snack from your favorite restaurant on his way to come and see you. Imagine him taking you on a date on one of the days, and then he asks you if you like this particular restaurant or if you like their food, and you're like, oh, even if the food tastes bad, women, even if the food of that particular restaurant on that particular day is not as good as you would have loved it to be, please, by all means, tell him, oh darling, I trust you to, you know, make the best choices. I trust you to pick out the best places, because I mean, you have good eyes, you know, you sabi better thing, you dey carry eye go market, you know what I mean, you dey carry eye go market. So I trust you to be able to make the right decisions at the right time. See, it's even going to make him at this point to not just think of you every time. Whenever he wants to do anything, he will intentionally want to get you involved. Now remember what we said in the first place about you trying to control every aspect of his life. Now when you do this, massage his ego, you're going to end up controlling all those aspects of his life that he thinks you're trying to get control of without even trying. I mean, he is going to want to bring his word to your feet and tell you, oh my queen, what do you want me to do to this, or what do you want me to do to this? And remember, if you make your man feel like a king, he is going to need a queen by his side, and the only person he is going to make a queen is that person that makes him feel like a king. Now, is that person you? When last did you massage a man's ego? When last did you, you know, say words to praise him and make him feel like he is the man that he is in your relationship, rather than less of a man that he is? Now, you guys, one other thing that can make your man pull away, or that is making your man pull away, is when he feels less independent. Now, we know that men, no matter the status they are in life, no matter the position they are in life, no matter how much money he earns or the career kind of business he does, a man wants to feel independent. That sense of independence is what they are built with. I mean, women are built, you know, in the African culture to be in the kitchen, you know, to be able to take care of the home, while men are sent out to go and be independent, not just for themselves, but for their family. Now, if this man has been single for a very long time, it means that he has patterned his life according to how he eats, how he drinks, how he goes out, what he does when he's indoors. I mean, he's independent. He doesn't have to depend on anybody to tell him, oh, your tie is this way, or you didn't brush your hair the other way. He didn't have to wait to make a decision with somebody before he can do whatever he wanted to do for himself. Now, there are times in your relationship when he will feel threatened in that way, and he will want to be by himself. He will begin to remember the things he used to do when he used to be alone, when he used to be single, you know, the places he used to visit, the kind of friends he had, the things he could talk about. Now, when he finds himself in that kind of place, he is going to want to pull away. He will want to recall back into his shell. You're going to notice that he suddenly becomes distant from you because he wants to be by himself. One thing I want you to notice is, when your man starts to pull away from you, it does not necessarily mean that he no longer loves you or that he's no longer interested in you. Generally, no. It is that there are things going on with him. It could even be that there are situations, you know, there are problems, you know, or situations, things that he has to handle in his life, in his career, in his business, and he's feeling like having you in his life is, you know, adding too much pressure on him, and he needs to, you know, be apart for a while, be independent, and sort out those issues themselves. Most of the times, most men do not like to come up to their women, whether women who they are married to or women that they're in romantic relationships with. They do not necessarily like to come up to you to share their problems. You know, like I said, in the African culture especially, men have been built to, you know, fight through the struggle for themselves, fight for things for themselves. So whenever they feel that there is a battle in front of them, they want to keep you on the side and be independent and stand alone and face the battle. As soon as the battle is, you know, done with and conquered, they come back to you. And now we know that most of the times our women do not have any of this patience. So whenever these things happen, what do you do? That is what we're going to be talking about in another video that is going to be a follow-up of this particular one. Now you want to hit the subscribe button below, turn on the notification bell button, like this video, leave a comment below, and share this video so that you will get notified as soon as that video is up. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Did you find it helpful or relatable in any way? Let me know in the comment section below. If you did find it helpful, then please share this video, okay, to get me to 1,000 subscribers. Please, you guys, share this video and get me to 1,000 subscribers. Until I come your way next time in my very next video, stay lifted, stay blessed, stay inspired, and don't you ever forget that Zinny loves you. Bye.